The Gambling Boys are back for late night talk. What's going on, everybody? Happy evening, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. They call me Moss Money, and I got my guy, Be Humble, with us for late night gambling, pop culture, anything that's going on in sports and outside of sports. Welcome to Gambling Nights. And man, a lot of kind of stuff to talk about tonight, I think, from sports, from where we are as I guess a country. Try not to get too political, but I mean it's hard not to at this point, with everything coming to an end. And that's a, in my opinion, a surprisingly quick defeat. I didn't think it was going to be that quick. Donald Trump has won the nomination as president-elect and will be the next president of the United States. Kamala Harris has come out and conceded victory, looking to do a peaceful transition and honoring all the greats before her, along with Biden, as well as transfer of power goes to Donald Trump and his cabinet. Bro, I know you took this one tough on the chin, just like a lot of people out there as well. Anything that really from this whole process, right? And the aftermath, I have something that I think kind of surprised me. But what surprised you most, after the polls kind of came out and we saw some of the numbers and the logistics? What do you think was the most surprising thing that you saw? Was like, wow, that was kind of crazy. Like, what I mean, that kind of came back with like, man, I didn't see that. Or you thought it was going to go this way, but it went completely the opposite way.
Yeah. I mean, before I answer the question, salute to Trump and Trump's campaign. They had a strategy, um, you know, that's been going back for damn near what 8 years now. Um, and they stuck to their plan, and he was who he was, and he was able to grasp that base and able to kind of sit on that base and to rely on that base. And that base has been, heating up and heating up and heating up. And this is where we are now. So salute to him and his campaign for doing a good job. Obviously, I was not expecting this result, especially like you said, almost upside down type of result. But also salute to Kamala Harris um, you know, for doing the best she could do with the limited time that she had as far as campaigning. This is not a thing that you just can arguably just wake up and just say, hey, 90 days is enough to really get to know people or have people get to know you, which I think in ways we have talked about in numerous conversations up to this date that, some things you just didn't know enough of for Kamala Harris. And I think the country didn't really know who Kamala Harris is, and besides her attachment to the Biden presidency. And I think that was something that hurt her in the long run.
Yeah, I
Um,
would agree.
you gave another person had 2 years to start plugging and printing his space, almost coming back from the dead. Um, and President Joe Biden, um, I thought the biggest mistake was not. I would say now, hindsight was not to say he was going to run again, right? Because that slowed the process down for us to get a candidate that could actually stand up to Donald Trump and the Republican movement. So, what surprised me, back to your question, what surprised me, I was very surprised and disappointed more about the women voting. And I thought, and I still don't understand it, that a party that is against women's bodily autonomy can get people's votes. But what I realize is that everybody's different and some people care about certain things and some people don't care about other people. I've learned that more today. I think I've learned that more, that people just don't care about other people. And what I'm saying by that is that there's women out there, millions of women out there that don't have no issues, don't have no pregnancy issues,
Right.
or any type of health issues. So this doesn't directly affect them. So it's easy for them to kind of push some things away because of something else they may think it weighs a little bit more. But there are women that may have some issues and health issues that need this opportunity for some type of, uh,
I say emergency or something.
emergency that is now
Yeah.
being given to the government to give you a yay or nay. And that is where I was surprised that the women turned out for Donald Trump through all the stuff that he's talked about, through all the, him saying and being the spearhead of Roe versus Wade being scaled back and overturned. It's amazing to me that that we had that type of turn with women, and I think that was my biggest surprise because I thought the women was going to carry the Democratic Party into victory yesterday.
Yeah, I would completely agree. That's kind of where I was going to head at as well. I thought also too as well. It seemed like from the polls in our back end conversations that Hispanic men showed out too. Big, big shift from what it was for Biden versus Harris. And you just kind of look back at that campaign, and they did do enough to capture that, right? Did they do enough to capture, the Hispanic population in the country? And when you look at it now from a minority and percentage standpoint, Hispanic is a pretty large population of the country, especially compared to other minority groups. But with that being said, I know you've talked about it yourself, how you kind of feeling today, and a lot of those folks who are feeling like that today. I do want to say one thing. I was kind of thinking about how I wanted to say this, how I kind of wanted to sum it up, because I think not only does it talk to all people, but it talks to specifically people that look like me and you and our black folks out there, right? I'm 41 years old. Um, you know, we're still building, like we're still building things now. Like we're still actively trying to create the world that we want in this moment. Reclaiming our agency with every step. I think we need to rediscover our imagination, and those same imaginations that systems of the past have tried to strip us off permanently. Whether from others, devious methods, or however you want to say it. um, you know, I think we've lost that a little bit along the way. We're so quick to look at each other and hate each other and say this and that about each other and get nasty with each other. I saw a quote from a friend who had wrote something, and he said, Gil Scott once said that once the light switches on, you can't turn it off. You know what I mean? And once you have that imagination and have that drive, like you can't turn that off. Like it's always on. You might feel psychologically and physiologically effects of different decisions, but your wellness is tied to the choices of anything, and you got to feel that deep within inside. And I don't know where that comes from, right? Is that ancestral? Is that ancestrals of our mothers and our women, men having some type of female intuition, that's been passed down, that binds us all. So at least for me, I would think that um, listening to everything that's kind of happened, I think that the one thing I kind of take from all this is that, man, we're alive. We have options. We can, try to put our best foot forward and just kind of come together. I mean, come together as best we can, and at least in our lifetime, and trying to put forward for our future. So I think glass half full, glass half empty, however you want to see it. I think the future can be bright. You know what I mean? I really do. So, that's really just wanted to say that because I know people, I've seen a lot of things on my post, people crying, people, really like physically feel sick, and understandably so, and your passion for, what you believe in. But, I mean,
Yeah,
that
I think.
that don't mean we don't stop building. That don't
Mhm.
mean we stop moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like the work doesn't stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just because of that. I understand it could look like a huge mountain in our way, possibly however you see fit and however you believe. But regardless of what side you're on, it ain't like it's going to keep churning. Hopefully, it churns in the right direction. Hopefully, it churns in the right direction for everybody that for all of us, especially people that look like us. But don't give up hope. Don't stop. Keep fighting. Keep your imagination. Keep your creativity. And we've been doing this a long time. When I say we, I mean people that look like us. Black people have been doing this a long time with no bootstraps, with no boots. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? We'll get through the fire if you feel like you are going through that fire. So, I mean, just wanted to add that political talk a little bit for my folks out there feeling like like I tell you, man, some cats feel like life is over, bro. Like it's what I mean, like it's a wrap. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I think just brief. I know you want to move on to the next subject. I think for obviously people that look like us and others and other communities, right? I think it's just what happens is when you run a campaign on negativity amongst other people, you put fear to them when now it's time to figure out is everything that you said you wanted to do, is it going to happen? So that's the rhetoric that was coming from the Trump campaign. It was pointing fingers and blames of a lot of people that don't look like him and a lot of people that was in the crowd that don't look like him. And so people wake up today that don't look like him are concerned, like myself and a lot of the women that surround me that are concerned because they don't know what's around the corner. And I think they have the right to feel that way. And we're not even talking about people that are in the other category as far as the immigrants and people that are here that they are trying to do, and get rid of, and what did their life look like in the next few months. So people are scared because of the rhetoric that was been spewed over the past 2 years from the Trump campaign, and they have every right to be. And I think that's why it's more disappointing because it seems like morality has left, and people are for themselves. And at the end of the day, this is where we are. So we will find out. I just those that's out there, stand on what you're gonna stand on, and respect to that.
yeah, yeah. Feel you on that one. All right, Jason Kelsey apologizes. Well, what the hell did Jason Kelsey apologize for? Well, the story goes that Jason Kelsey was, I don't know where he was walking or where he was going to, was being heckled
It's crazy.
by a fan. And fan used a racial or sexual slur to describe Travis Kelsey's relationship with Taylor Swift. Mr. Kelsey did not like this at all. You talk about my brother, you talk about me, and went to smash his phone. Let's take a look. Damn. Did you hear this? Did you hear the smack?
And then he picked it up.
Did you hear the smack on the ground? Right. Let's go back one more time. Boom. And this is Kelsey's apology. We'll probably get blocked out here, but this is Kelsey's apology on the New Heights podcast. I think it was maybe a day or two ago.
Because I feel like it needs one more time, and then hopefully we can stop talking about this really stupid situation that occurred.
Silly. I'm with you, man.
I'm not happy about the situation. Me reacting gave him the time of day, and it also gave this situation notoriety. That's what I regret. All right. It didn't deserve attention. It's really stupid. And if I just keep walking, it's a nothing burger. Nobody sees it. Now it's out there and it just perpetuates more hate. The thing that I regret the most is saying that word, to be honest with you. And the word he used is just ridiculous. And it takes it to another level. It's just off the wall and over the line. And it's dehumanizing and got under my skin and elicited a reaction. And like in the heat of the moment, I thought in my head, hey, what can I say back to him? I'm going to throw that right back in his face because him. I know now that I shouldn't have done that because now there's a video out there with me saying that word, him saying that word, and it's not good for anybody. I think what I do regret is that now there's a video that is very hateful that is now online that has been seen by millions of people. And I share fault in perpetuating it and having that out there.
I know it's weighing on you, brother. That shit sucks. You shouldn't feel this much. Obviously, the scrutiny and or the media like view on it, and everybody passing around the videos that are being out there. I mean, that's going to make it a bigger situation than I think what it really is. But the real situation is you had some fucking clown come up to you and talk about your family, and you reacted in a way that was defending your family, and you might have used some words that you regret using. And that's a situation that you just got to kind of learn from and own. And I think you owning it and you speaking about it shows how sincere you are to a lot of people in this world, and shows that especially what you said on Monday night, that you choose not to fucking you don't choose hate. That's just not who you are.
Yeah.
I love you, brother.
Love you too.
I think.
All right. What do you think about the whole incident with Jason Kelce and his response and him talking about it? I think there's been a reoccurring theme that I think you could probably lean on with this, but what do you think about that whole situation there?
It's a few things, because I know that whole clip don't show the whole thing, and I've seen some clips of
Yeah,
people behind the guy holding the phone and what he was saying, and it was just totally disrespectful. And I know we just got off the political climate, so I'm not going to touch on it too much, but it does go hand in hand. And you have a heckler. First off, let me give you respect about Jason Kelce is for the people. Okay, if any person, celebrity, athlete, and I want to get this, I want you people that don't understand, we are Philadelphia. We've been following Jason Kelce, been a Philadelphia Eagle his whole career, so we know a lot about Jason Kelce.
Yep.
Jason Kelce is for the people. And what's happened now is that this heckler has probably changed his view on what type of person he wants to be, Jason Kelce, now because of his fandom. And that's sad, because now Jason has to now probably tone it back when all he wants to do is be a normal person as best as he can be and give back to people and make people feel like he can be touched. He walks amongst the normal people. He doesn't have security guards. He's at, tailgates doing his thing. He's just a people person. And now what happens is, because somebody has been emboldened and sparked by whatever you want to say they're sparked by. And this is why I say I didn't want to get into politicals, but the reasons why is because that heckler was talking about Travis Kelce, who is now in a relationship with Taylor Swift, who supports a certain group of political person. So now that person is considered the F word at the LGBT community. And that was reference to Jason Kelce and his response and why he said it. And that's the problem. We have people out here that have no respect. Going back to what I'm saying, what I've learned, I'm continuing to learn, is people don't care about other people. And it's coming more and more and more as I'm seeing these people heckling these great people that you idolize. You came and paid money to watch these people, but you feel like, oh, I can say anything I want to say from this stand, or I can say anything I can want to say from this computer or from this little tablet that I got, and be as disrespectful as I want to be. And that's the problem, especially this young generation, man. Listen, I don't tell you the truth. I didn't even want Jason to have to apologize for that. I get it. He didn't really come up with the word. He was throwing the word back to him because that's what he was saying. And I guess he has to do it because of
where he is, his
where
status.
he is now in life, his
Yeah.
status.
Yeah.
So fine, I get it. But I promise you, Nate, this moment probably took a big piece out of Jason Kelce and his trust that he can have to being amongst the people. And we probably won't see him too much out here like we used to see him.
He probably lost some money. He probably lost some followers. Probably took a hit to his brand for sure. We're so kind of sensitive right now in a society of what we say and how we say it. Even when the person's attacked. So I do definitely agree with you that, and I do agree that these younger generation has no boundaries. They don't understand when they've crossed the line. Like you said, you think you can get away with just saying something to somebody because you pay to see them, or that they're a celebrity and is supposed to act like he's a man just like you are, bro. You know what I mean? Well, he's a man and you're maybe not. You know what I mean? The way of your actions are saying. So You're lucky he didn't do anything worse. And I understand he probably had a lot of restraint not to do anything worse.
Absolutely.
For him to do that. And you could just tell he boiled over when he took the phone and slammed it. So, I like you again. I don't think he needed to apologize, but then he did need to apologize because who he is and what his brand represents and
Who's
what
backing, right?
you know what I mean, who he's trying to do. He's on Wawa commercials. He's doing foundation stuff. They're working on a Christmas album again. I think I just saw with Boys the Men. Like they're doing all kinds of stuff. And for that to be a kind of black mark on his pretty much clean record moving forward is unfortunate. Let his emotion gets the best of him. And like Travis said, you just kind of learn from this. I think this has been happening for a while, man. I'm not sure if it's the stir up of the political or just this generation in itself. Like we've seen it in basketball games, we've seen it in different things where they are towing the line of what is acceptable behavior and what you think you can do to people that you go pay see money for. Like we saw this in Philly with Russell Westbrook a long time ago with the guy giving him the finger like really heavy, and he's just like what? Or like people out here shouting things about people's families, and you think they won't say anything or get in your face like, hold on, what did you just say about my family? And what? You don't even know me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're talking to me like you know me or you know of me just because you see me on TV. Like so, I think and a lot
Let
of
me
these
let me
motherfuckers.
ask you this too. I know I'm sorry, you're in the middle of your
Yeah,
thought.
no, I was gonna say a lot of these motherfuckers scared to get their ass whooped. They scared to take an ass whooping. So
Yeah. A
you know
lot
what
of
I
them are
mean?
baiting it though. A lot of them want to get hit. A lot
Yeah,
of them want to get so they can go ahead and claim and call and start a legal battle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's on anything to go viral. Everybody wants to go viral.
yep,
You see him with his phone in his hand. He's doing it on purpose. He's doing it to nag and to get a reaction, and he got it. But what I will say is this: shame on those folks or any type of corporations that have now looked down or trying to cut any type of ties with Chase and Kelsey. I'm not sure if that's happening, but if I'm any of those companies, at some point you got to stand with your people and understand who your client is. And if it's Wawa or ESPN, don't listen. He did nothing wrong here. He was being attacked, he was being nagged, and he reacted to it. But that's not, what I mean, anybody would, right? Like at some point you got to draw the line with folks and let them know. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah. I agree.
I'm not for anybody, you
I
know,
agree.
not in this situation.
Right, right, right. Absolutely. Now, I mean, and we just go from one Philly person to the next, kind of talking about
Shit.
the
It's
same thing,
another
right?
one. Yeah.
Right. Joel Embiid was suspended. News have broke today. Breaking news for him that supposedly he will play on Tuesday against the Knicks. That's what the rumor is, supposedly. Sixers on right now going against the Clippers. Paul George going back to I forget what that the new arena is called. But what scored the game? You watching it?
We're down 3, 51, 48, 20 seconds left in the half.
Okay. So right now, this is about a day ago from Bleacher Report. He's been suspended for 3 games without pay after altercation with shoving a columnist in the locker room. So, story goes like this: columnist Marcus, I forget his last name. I gotta look it on my phone.
Marcus Hayes.
Marcus Hayes um made a whole column, or actually, you know what, bro? I gotta take a quick break. Let me run to the bathroom. You know the article?
I don't. I think they took it down. I don't know what the article said.
You don't know what the article said? Damn. Um, so I know the article talked about how he does not play. And also it made references to his brother that was deceased
Yeah.
and his son
Mhm.
about how they would feel and where's his standard in their eyes. This is
Correct.
a
His
column
legacy, and he
and his
referenced his
legacy.
legacy
Yeah.
with his brother.
Yeah.
His brother he named his son after his brother, so it was like a
Yeah.
combination.
Arthur. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand how this guy can even say this about Joel Embiid. So if you could, brother, I gotta take a piss real quick. Let me run to the bathroom real quick.
Yep.
Go ahead and tell the people about what you think about what this gentleman had just said about this about Joel Embiid, and how would you deal with somebody who would come at your family like that as well. Be right back.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think looking at the details of without reading the article because they took down the article really fast. Um, you know, there's just rules to anything, right? Let's not talk about people's family. Like if you want to talk about anybody, especially an athlete, talk about the sport that you're covering. Especially if you're a reporter, and so for the disrespect, even if it looked that way, right? Like so, you didn't even only write it, but you reviewed it. You looked at it probably once or twice before you submitted it, and you still submitted it. And for that to go down, that means you intended to do it. Whether you meant it to be that way or not, it came off disrespectful to the person. Joel, I think the day before, had mentioned his issue with that reporter. And that reporter at that time was not in the building. And that's when Joel Embiid mentioned that, all the things he did, all the things he did for Philly, he should be respected more and all this stuff like that. That was more in reference to that person, Marcus Hayes, who was the reporter, who was not in that building. So the next day, Marcus Hayes came into the locker room, and that's when Joel Embiid approached him and showed his dismay on what was written. I think Marcus kind of try to defend it. Joel didn't like it, and that's when he shoved him across, supposedly quote unquote, across the chest area and the neck area. No punches was thrown; it was separated, and I believe the security, ultimately wanted to kind of squash everything that happened, and didn't want it to get out to the media. And unfortunately, as of course the world we live in, any type of drama, things are going to get pushed up to the forefront. So how do I feel about the NBA coming down on Joel? I think you just have to draw a line with any type of player putting any type of hands on any type of reporter. But
Yeah,
do I think he deserved it? No. Do I think the NBA has to make a stance? Yeah. Do
I
I think
do.
three games is enough? I guess it makes a point. But if I'm the Sixers organization, I'm probably going to find a way to get your money back some way, somehow. I'm probably going to be most likely behind you on this because it's really negligent for the Sixers organization to even allow Marcus Hayes in that room before discussion was even made because he already gave the warning that day before that he has an issue with Marcus Hayes. And that was how, and I don't know if you knew, Nate, that's how that whole article got out about him talking about Philadelphia and he's done so much of Philadelphia, blah, blah, blah. That was ultimately in reference to Marcus Hayes' article. Marcus Hayes wasn't there at the time, so he wasn't able to talk to him right directly. But Marcus Hayes came the next day, and that's where it happened. So it should have been handled differently. Hey, Joel, man, listen, stand on it, bro. If you felt disrespected, especially when they're talking about your family, that's all you. That's all who you are. You are you, the person you are, and the family that you have, and the family that you keep. So, listen,
Yeah,
what's
nah,
tell me what's happening to Marcus Hayes, right? Like, if is he suspended for the
nah,
disrespect,
nah.
right? Like,
Yeah,
so how does that work? So we always looking for like just like the whole Jason Kelsey thing. We want these players and these other people to be judged and viewed in this different light. Yet we are okay with everybody else doing whatever the hell they want to do toward these athletes, and that's just not right. I know they should be the role model. They should turn the cheek or walk away, and I think as a professional, you should do that regardless whether you're an athlete or not. But at some point, you know, there's a line for everybody. Everybody has their line
facts.
and both of them lines were family, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
And you know what the funny thing is? I kind of took back to what Joel was saying and talking about he whatever he's done for this city.
yes,
You know what I mean? And I felt like, you know what, bro, like, it's a give or take. I think Gilly said this too. It's a give or take type situation, right? You just got paid 300 plus, million as an extension here. And we just want to know what the hell's going on, right? As fans, right? All of a sudden you're in the Olympics, you're playing, you're wearing gold medals. There was a break between the start of the season and that, and now you're hurt at the start of the season, and nobody knows why or how.
hmm
And as fans, and especially Philadelphia fans, we're owed to know that because we spend money to go
yeah,
and see you play.
yeah.
And now you're saying you're not playing and nobody doesn't know why or how, just that you're kind of practicing. So what the hell happened in between? We feel like we're owed that conversation, or at least that no. not just from you, but also from the Sixers organization.
Oh, number one. I mean, that's supposed to come from that's the Sixers organization,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
they
Like
got fined for
that's
that
the
too, right?
person. Correct. They got to find 100,000 for that.
100 grand, yeah,
That's on the Sixers. That's not necessarily on Embiid. Now I'm saying he doesn't have nothing to do with it because he's actually the individual. But like you said, you just paid me $300 million. Obviously, you don't want me to say anything. That's why I haven't said anything.
yeah,
I get what I'm saying.
yeah,
So once again, I think that reference was to Mr. Hayes because he's pretty much talking to him like, bro, all that I've done for Philly and probably you, and this is how you going to talk about me.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean, I
yeah,
think that's what directed to him because he did say, well, he's not in the room right now. He kind of like went to like that person's not in the room during that interview. So I think
yeah.
it was in the heat of the moment. But I also agree that the Philadelphia 76ers have been negligent in this handling of Joel Embiid. A lot of it probably has to do with money and ticket sales and all that stuff. And that's why they got fined. They got fined because they're not being honest. And
Yep.
people are spending money not knowing what the situation is. So
I agree with them though. I first I didn't agree with them. It took me back for a second, but we all forget about the whole eye situation.
everything.
His face, multiple knee injuries. He's tried to play through it all, whether he was in shape, whether he was not. It doesn't matter. He still tried to lace him up and put it up, leave it all on the court when it was game time. You know what I mean? So I can't really knock that as much as I was in the beginning. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of
And
I think he was standing on business, and I think he's got a right to. You know what I mean? He ain't win shit yet.
no, I think
That what gets me.
wrong. Right.
Yeah, that's what gets me. Like, and maybe if you took us to the finals, even if you lost, then okay, all of you, what you've done, you brung spark, you brung excitement to the city.
Yeah.
But you've been through a lot of teams and a lot of iterations around you, and you still haven't found the formula. You know what I'm saying?
Good teams. Yeah, good pieces.
And good teams. And good teams. And then in the playoffs, you've been small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the playoffs, you've been small. So that's where kind of I was coming from. You give us everything, we'll give you everything back. You leave it all on the court, you give us everything back.
What I did want to add too, just one
Yeah.
last thing on it, was that I wasn't in the like when he came out and said he's not going to do no back-to-backs. I thought that wasn't the right message.
It was
Right?
not. It was terrible.
I thought that was the beginning of it, right?
Yeah.
And then you came to follow up with you not playing game one, and then it was like, what the fuck? What do you mean
Yeah.
Joel's not playing game one?
Facts. Yeah.
And then that's where it kind of just rolled downhill. So it started with him saying he's not going to play back-to-backs, and I think I tried to take a step back, and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And I said, and I thought about it,
Mhm.
and I was like, you know what, man, I'm okay with it because now it's shown me that Joel is focused on trying to win a championship, and this is why I thought about it that way, because he's now realized how
Wait.
he has been health-wise and not fully healthy when it came down to
Trying to make it to the
really matter.
playoffs healthy.
Right. So it's not about MVPs and having to play so many games to make an MVP. It's not about that. So that's the way I started taking, like, okay, all right, cool. I'm good with that. So he's saying that pretty much I'm super focused on getting through this regular season as healthy as possible so I can turn the fuck up when it comes down to the playoffs. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
That's the way I end up having to change my mindset. And that's why I hope that's what he was saying. But then again, when he came right back and wasn't available for game one, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So but anyway, man, Joel's a good guy, man. I've met him time and a few. I know one of his security guys, so we kind of connect a little bit. But he's a good man, and you know, I know he has all the right intentions. I know he's definitely a family guy. Now that he has a son himself, obviously going through the tragedies as he went through with his brother. So he's very, very keen on his family. So I can understand why he felt that way and why he responded to Marcus Hayes in that article.
Well, with basketball just starting, football is getting really exciting. You know, we're at the halfway point pretty much in the NFL right now. Trade deadline did come and pass. And I wanted to talk to you about, mid-season awards as well. Okay.
NFL, right?
Yeah, NFL. We're doing NFL trade deadline and mid-season awards. So far, I had to take a screenshot and get a chance to put it up. But I took a screenshot of the trade deadline transactions that happened, and I'll list them out. Tell me which one you think kind of stands out to you or which one is going to make a difference. So Mike Williams from the Jets and the Preston Smith from Green Bay got traded to the Steelers. Lattimore, Marshawn, the used to be standout cornerback, Marshawn Lattimore, went to the Commanders. Tre'Davious White um, from the Rams went to Baltimore. Khalil Herbert, running back from Cincinnati, went to Chicago. Zadarius Smith, defensive end from Cleveland, went to Detroit Lions, and a head scratcher, and we'll get to them later. Jonathan Mingo from the Carolina Panthers went to the Dallas Cowboys.
And not including the early ones, right? Like the Hopkins to the Chiefs and
Yeah, now those were on Tuesday at the deadline. So
yeah,
yes, DeAndre Hopkins went to the Chiefs, um, and Devontae Adams
to the
went
Jets.
to the Jets.
Yeah, I would say 3, man. I would jump right into it and say the biggest impact I think right now has already been made right now is I would go number 1 is DeAndre Hopkins and the Chiefs. I thought that was a big move for them to get DeAndre Hopkins in there. He's already become an impact player on that team. I think he's already scored twice for them in the,
Yeah, he
and you
scored
start
twice last game.
right, seeing him score twice. You're
Yeah,
seeing, you're seeing now that Kansas City's opened up a little bit more in their offense. They were been pretty much struggling all year so far. Although they're 7-0, they haven't looked like a 7-0 dominant team. They've been kind of sneaking by. So I think the Hopkins piece there is definitely a big piece for them because they lost Rice, they lost Juju. They were kind of really slim at that receiver position. And
yeah.
obviously Travis Kelsey's getting a little bit older, so he can't really carry that weight. So I think that was huge. Number 1. Number 2, I think the Detroit pickup and the defensive end. I'm missing his name at the moment. Zadarius Smith.
Zadarius Smith. Yep.
Zadarius Smith. I think that's a huge piece for them. Obviously, they lost an unreplaceable piece in their franchise player um, at the defensive end position, but they were able to kind of get somebody that can kind of step in and give them that extra attack on the edge. So we all know that Detroit Lions are. I think we all agree that Detroit is the best team in the NFL at the moment. Offensively, they're dominant. I think defensively, they can always get better, but you did get better by adding a big time edge rusher to get after the quarterback. And I think the third piece there, I thought that's going to be an impact. I think is Marshawn Lattimore. I think Washington has realized that, damn man, we are actually have a potentially or a
You
fight
got to
to
run.
make
You got to
make a
run.
make a playoff run,
Yeah, you may
right?
run.
And so let's get some help on this defensive side. You put a veteran at the cornerback position. Marshawn is very familiar with the NFC East because we played them a lot as far as the Saints. So it's not an easy matchup anytime you got Marshawn on the other side. So I feel like every time we play him, he gets a pick, or anytime I see him on goddamn television, somehow he gets a turnover or a pick.
It
So I think that's a big piece for Commanders. It seemed like the Washington Commanders. It seemed like that's the place that the players want to go to. So
is.
salute to that organization that's
Yeah,
turning it up.
got a good
Now,
culture there.
now all they do is build a new goddamn stadium.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah. I heard.
everybody,
I heard this stadium is trash.
yeah,
I mean, it's dated, but it's trash.
yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So those are my 3 pieces. I think those are the 3 biggest acquisitions, and I think they'll all be impact players for their team.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to not to debunk or go against those. I think Devontae Adams for the Jets would probably be my number 1.
Wow.
His impact on not
Okay.
only his familiarity with Aaron Rodgers, but he's always been heard to be a great teammate, right, and a great
Yeah,
mentor.
I agree. I think he's a
Yeah,
great dude.
you know what I mean. So I think Adams makes sense to me.
Do you
Especially
so what you saying that do you mean that you think they're going to make the run? You think they're going to have to win out, right? So you think this is what they're going to
I
do?
think they'll make it interesting
Okay,
because because Rodgers shows that the arm is still magical at times, and then other times he doesn't.
interesting. So
You
you
know
think
what I
that's
mean?
number 1? Okay,
Yeah, so I think that's number 1, and I'm with you. Zadarius Smith to Detroit is huge. They needed another pass rusher. They needed some way, somehow, to replace the production they were getting from Adrian Hutchinson, who's no longer there. So I think that's huge as well. I'm not really sold on Lattimore too much
okay,
to Washington because he's not the All Pro that he used to be. So
mhm,
I'm not sure what that looks like. But I know they needed cornerback help because I know every time we see them, we torch them boys. So, um, you know, we'll see how that matches up once we see them in what 2 weeks.
yeah,
We got Dallas and then Washington. So that was number 2 for me, and then number 3 was what you already said. We already saw the effect of DeAndre Hopkins on the Chiefs. Week 1 wasn't nothing, but week 2, he absolutely exploded on 2 touchdowns. I think like 90 something yards, 8 catches. Opened up Kelce too. I think Kelce had 10 catches for like 100 yards too as well. So, it's like the rich keep getting richer. And it's by like it's not like super big plays. It's just a guy that you can throw up the ball to, and be able to go get it. And his route running is just ridiculous. You remember when he toured Devontae Hall's? Was it Devontae Hall? No, D'Angelo Hall from Washington. This is when Hopkins was on
Oh yeah. He was
in
getting
scrimmage.
the scrimmage.
His Achilles on a route.
Yep. Yeah, it was crazy. No, man, that dude. Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. It's just silly. He still got some juice left. You know what I mean? He still got some juice left. All right, mid-season awards. Right now.
Right now.
Let's run it. Let's run it down. Let me bring up so I can just make sure I hit them all. But I'm just go off the top of my head. You're right now offensive player of the year.
Offensive player of the year.
Yes.
Offensive player of the year would be Derrick Henry.
King Henry.
King Henry.
Okay. Hard for me to disagree with that. Man, it's hard for me not to be a homebody and not say Saquon. You know what I mean? Like I want to say Saquon.
Saquon's that close second, man. He's right there. But every stat line is tells you right now Derrick Henry is that guy. Saquon's right behind him, stat lines too.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that one. I'll let you live on that one. I can't disagree.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that one. That was that's a layup though. That was an easy one.
Yeah. All right. Defensive player of the year.
Oh, defensive player of the year to me would have to be what? JJ Watt?
TJ Watt?
I mean, sorry, I say JJ. TJ Watt would have to be the defensive player of the year right now. I mean, I thought Hutchinson was up there for a minute, but obviously he got hurt.
Right.
I mean,
I'm going with Sexy Dexy.
Sexy Dexy?
Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence?
Going with Dexter Lawrence.
I think you got a yeah. I like it. That's a freaky pick right there.
I'm going with I see
No
what
pun.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
No pun intended.
No,
but how about this?
I'm going with Sexy Dexy, man. Second in sacks as a nose tackle with 9 sacks already, 350 plus pounds. You know what I mean? Like what he's able to do at that position, generational talent, in my opinion. But what he's able to do at that position and generate that type of pass rush is just that's special. I know you know what I mean? Like for him to get double digit sacks as a nose tackle, bro, at his size, like, yeah, give me Sexy Dexy.
I do. I like that. Like I'm looking at it now. The sack leaders, obviously, Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, I think he had a big game last game.
4-sack game, which is crazy. He had 4 games with multiple sacks. I do like your pick there. I forget it. I don't think about the Giants of anything being good. So
yeah,
you said that it's a good sneaky pick there. TJ Watt. I just feel like he gets the sacks, but he also gets the other numbers, the turnovers, the fumble recovery, the fumble calls, the touchdowns, the ball. Like we used to call them when we played ball magnets, right? Like me and you might have to work real hard to get a goddamn turnover as far as a scoop and a score. But then there's other people that's like, bro, how did that ball just bounce to you? I had a linebacker that just had every turnover, just every ball would run into his hands. TJ Watt's like that. TJ Watt was like his older brother, and JJ Watt was like that also. The ball just found them somehow. So I think he gets those extra stats. That's why I kind of gave it to TJ.
I hear that.
But I like your pick though. I like your pick better than mine.
I got a bet on it. That's
Fuck the Giants though.
Fuck the Giants. Yeah. You always gotta look deep in the camera when you say that. You be dead ass. All right.
If we're talking good about it, we gotta make sure we let it be clear.
I think this one's a layup. I think everybody has this as their offensive rookie of the year. Daniels, I'll just skip that.
Yeah.
Daniels is a runaway train with that one, so that makes sense. Interesting one here. Defensive rookie of the year.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, I'm now got to go home. I got to
Yes.
go home.
Come on home.
I got to
Come
go
on.
home. I think. I'll let you talk about it because that's your guy. You've been talking about him for a while now. So I'm gonna
Yes.
give you the respect.
Yes.
to talk
Mr.
about
Mitchell.
that.
Mr.
Yep.
Mitchell, step up to the podium and come get this award. You
Yep.
know what I mean? I think our guy Ernie B from Monday nights put a stat in there comparing him to who was I even comparing him to? Weatherspoon. Covered
Mm.
snaps without allowing a TD among cornerbacks. Top 2 right now from PFF. Devin Weatherspoon has 306. Quinyon Mitchell has 283 coverage snaps. Like he's boring in the game. And
Mhm.
for a cornerback, that's a great thing to say because nothing happens
Mhm.
where he's at. You know what I mean? Like nothing is happening where he's at. And he's now the number 1 corner playing the number 1 receiver on the side. Now he doesn't travel, I don't think. I think he stays on one
So
side.
you're 6 on the left side.
I,
Yeah.
I think he just stays on the one side. But you already got a bet on it already. Right now, I know Jared Verse from where's Jared Verse? It's not the
Shit,
Texans.
where's that?
Where's Verse at? Where's Verse playing?
He's at the Rams, right?
Is it? Yeah. He's at the Rams. He's
Rams.
on the
Yeah.
Rams. He's on the Rams. I just don't see it. Now I know sack numbers are not everything, just like for corners, interceptions aren't everything, but I just don't see it for Verse at the impact that he has compared to Mitchell has for the Philadelphia Eagles. So yes, definitely a home run on this one for me. Love the Mitchell pick. If you haven't bet it, it's worth dropping a nickel on it. I already dropped a unit on that bet. It's still sitting at plus 1700, which is really surprising to me. And it's probably because he can't catch.
Or he it just seems like just not getting like
Yeah,
it's either
like
interrupted somehow. The ball just
yeah,
he out
like
of bounds.
he can't catch, bro. I mean, that's something. That's the reason why he's playing corner. He
Mm.
can't he can put his hand on the ball, but he can't catch the ball for whatever
He can
reason.
lock
'Cause
it down though. He can lock you
I'm
down.
I'm he should have at least 3 picks, maybe one
Definitely
for
3.
at
You
least
got it.
3 and one to the crib.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that one he broke on in New Orleans, he broke on a route and he was gone.
There's somebody else that's in the race in the running too. I think Terriana Arnold, right? From Detroit.
No, I thought he got hurt. I thought he got hurt for
He
a
get
little
hurt?
bit. I
Okay.
thought he did. It's him and the defensive end from what are you playing? Washington. What's his Latu?
A lot too. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at his stats.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at either.
Okay.
But yeah, those are the top 3 though. Those are the
Gotcha.
top 3.
Okay.
All right, so we did offense, defense, rookie of the year. All right, last one of the awards. Who is your current MVP right now, mid-season? I'll let you think about that. It's hard for me not to say Action Jackson. I know Josh is having another amazing year, especially after losing a number 1 receiver. He's put the team on his back, but I mean, what Lamar is doing is just too special, man. He's just a special talent, man. He might be the most gifted quarterback to ever play the position that we've seen from an athletic standpoint. I'm pretty feel confident that he really might be it. He really might. He's third in yards with 2,300 yards. He's second in touchdowns with 20 touchdowns. Not sure where he is in picks. I could probably look it up and find out. But all top 3 statistically categories for Lamar Jackson. I find that hard to just escape that. To be honest,
Yeah, man. I think I gotta be right with you with that one. I mean, 20 and
yeah. Way
2
to
right
change, yeah,
now.
change up that word, bro.
Damn, what I say?
You was about to say right behind, yeah, and then you stop. Yeah,
Yeah. I have
my
to change
man,
that.
I
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate you.
No problem.
And
No problem.
2 picks, 20 touchdowns and 2
Yeah,
picks.
20 and 2 is rough, man. I mean, it's great. It's hard to go against that. I would put right behind that.
And 500 yards. I mean, he's rushing. He's going to get. I think he might break 4,000 and 1,000 yards in a season. 5,000 yards total, and probably what 35 something touchdowns. Like what is his odds? His odds is 3-1. That's still a good bet, bro.
You got to get it. It is a good bet. You just got to get his, continue to win, which I think they will win.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great bet because he's going to have those eye-popping games where he throws 4 or 5 touchdowns, rushes for a buck, have a touch, throws for 3 something. Didn't they just get a run? Didn't they just get a receiver too? Didn't they just get somebody else?
Yeah, they got Johnson, right?
Who?
Isn't DeAndre Johnson they got?
Did they get DeAndre Johnson? I thought it was somebody like not like a superstar, but I thought it was somebody.
I think it's DeAndre Johnson. Right?
I don't remember. Yeah, I'll look it up. But go ahead.
I mean, yeah, obviously, I think he leads that. I agree with you with Lamar Jackson, Action Jackson. I would go right behind that, probably Josh Allen or Jared Goff. I know it sounds crazy, but I just think the way Goff has played
You're right,
this year.
Deontay Johnson. You're right.
And I think the way Josh Allen is, I think he's 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Obviously, with no receivers out there, Khalil Sharik. What's his name? The receiver, Khalil. Gosh, dang it! But anyway, there's no big time receivers over there besides.
Right. I think it's
Khalil Sharif or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I know he's big time as far as for them, but nobody thought he was going to be the player he is. And obviously, you just added Cooper, so it's one of them things where, and Cooper's hurt now, so
yeah,
it's one of them things where
Shakur. I'm sorry, Shakur.
Okay, Khalil Shakur. Yeah, but you got to go to Action Jackson right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet. You know, I mean, if you wanted to bet, if anybody was looking at from some future bets, just to, even at 3-1, kind of leading, all statistical categories. To be honest with you, I think that's a good bet. I thought at first I had got out of it. I thought Joe Burrow was a dark horse, if he could bring them back, and win that conference. But I mean,
you can put that to bed.
Yeah, he ain't catching them. Yeah, he ain't catching them. But plus 3-1, what's the Super Bowl odds for them?
For who?
For Baltimore.
To win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's about 7-1.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's that defense, dog. That pass defense, once you face somebody who can score, you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna win a trap meet with that defense, because sooner or later the other side's gonna get a stop. Sooner or later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right now, Sixers are down
10. I saw. I think.
Yeah.
Let's keep it. NFL talk. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Love to see it. Love to see it. I think the MRI came back earlier today. Seems like he has actually a tear on the hamstring, where they're talking that it might not just be IR. It might be an extended time for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. So not 100% sure of what that means for Dak, but I know for sure the Dallas Cowboys are finished. It is Cancun time.
I like how you said that. I'm not sure what that means for Dak, but I know what it means for the Dallas Cowboys.
I do. I know exactly what it means. I mean, Shady said it already. Dak is ass. He's ass. Now they don't have him. Oh man. And that, I think everybody's hurt. I think Parsons still limited. Bland is still hurt. You got Dak out. Why is the receiver Lamb is hurt too and banged up? They trying to pump up Cooper Rush and saying Cooper Rush is 5-1 since and starts after Dak gets hurt. Like, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, shut up. And the question is, do you give Cooper the ball or do you go Trey Lance? There's a reason why you traded a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance.
Yeah, I think Trey is done. I think it's going right to Cooper. I do.
So, and then Elliott got suspended for a game for disciplinary actions. This team is a mess. The offensive line is terrible. Zach Martin said he might retire after this year. Like, they are in like I didn't think that this is like Carson Wentz fall. Like, you're supposed to be this good, and like it really looks like you really might be in a rebuild mode. Like, really, really might be in a rebuild mode, and you might not even pay Parsons. You still got to pay
Well,
Parsons.
they can't pay Parsons. I think Dak and Lamb take up almost like some crazy amount of money of their cap.
Yeah,
It's like crazy.
so that's even worse. And Lawrence
Yeah.
is still out too.
It's like 50 to 60 of their cap, and they got 52, 51 other players they got to pay.
Yo, it's just it's they're in a like Jerry Jones should like be looked at and studied like like his head like Biden like I'm
Biden.
sorry my old white fella like you not looking at this right. You are not looking at this like right at all. You know what I
Time to
mean?
pass the torch.
Yeah, something like think about this. Donald Trump has been in office, out of office, now back in office, and Cowboys still ain't shit.
The same old Cowboys.
It's the same old Cowboys.
That is true.
What do you think? What do you think about this? Do you see it too? Are they in full rebuild mode? Like this, like they're gonna have to almost blow it up and start it off from scratch.
The problem is that every year is the Cowboy year. So I guess are they ever going to be able to rebuild? Every year is the Cowboys year. So they are going to build it from scratch. Their O-line is going to start going down. It's already started. They still only have really one receiver. They have no run game. They have no running back. Their defense is falling apart. Yeah. Hey, but the good news is, man, look, Dak
His ass.
got a little bit of, a little bit of muscle torn off the hammy. This just gives you more time to plan your wedding since you just got engaged. And go ahead and do that, man. While you in Cancun, look at some of those wedding venues. Y'all can figure it out. For sure. So he got more time, and I'm sure his fiance is happy. That he won't just be signing the checks.
His baby making time.
His baby making time.
One leg.
He got one leg. Oh no, he
one
might
leg on him.
I guess he'd be laying on his back. Pause.
One leg on him. Let me get one leg on him.
But yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, anyway, fuck the Cowboys.
Yes.
So we'll see y'all. We'll see y'all Sunday.
They fucking suck.
Be ready.
They suck. It is Cowboys week too, so it don't
is.
matter who's at quarterback.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't care what you got. As long as that's you wearing that star, it is Cowboy week for sure. Can't forget about that. Can't forget about that. In other football news, moving to NCAA. In a surprise, I just found this out. This is breaking news. Breaking news.
Oh,
I asked you each week, do you believe? Do you believe? Do the folks out there watching at 11:45 at night, Reading, saying, when y'all going to end the show? Because we're ready to go to bed. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow button before you get out of here. Do you believe? Because the college football press believes Colorado Buffalo are now ranked 20th in the nation. Well-deserved 20th in the nation. How you feel about this one, brother? Do you think this is, I just said well-deserved, so I'm kind of being hypocritical of myself because we already know what I think. But do you think that this is well-deserved and this is where they should be and they should be ranked, in the top 25 at this point? And have they shown enough and beaten the right people to be that ranked?
All right, so I'll give it to you this way.
Whoa, now.
Yeah. I've been rough and tough on Colorado. No diddy. I've been tough on Colorado. especially since that Nebraska game. I thought they were the same old Colorado Buffaloes. And they've shown and improved week in and week out since that time. And I knew they were going to have a rough time against Kansas State, but he fought them to the end. So that's no harp on them losing that game.
Yeah, they
Uh,
almost won that game.
but they got right back on the saddle, and they handled business against Arizona, handled business against Cincinnati. They're 6-2 right now. They deserve everything where they're getting right now, being ranked 20th in the college football playoff standings right now. Do I think they make the college football playoffs? I don't. Is there a pathway for them to get there? It is. Why is there a pathway for them to get there? It's because at the same time that they're continuing to win, Kansas State and Iowa State lost last week. And that was big for them to potentially have a pathway to becoming or play in the Big 12 championship. My problem is BYU is the real deal. And I don't think they get past BYU. So looking at their schedule, they got Texas Tech this week.
What do you think? Quick preview of that, real quick. What do you think about that game?
Two teams playing, I think, about the same, really. I
Mm.
think. I mean, although I think you got better players on Colorado at the key positions, right? You got
Yeah.
Shador Sanders, who I think is, like I said a year ago or prior to the year, that if he did stay, he would be the number one quarterback, which I think he still is the number one quarterback.
Yeah.
And you have obviously Travis Hunter, who's most likely the Heisman leader at the moment. But I think you're at Texas Tech, so it's going to be a little bit different. Texas Tech is a tricky place to play. If they get past Texas Tech, I think they are in a driver's seat. In a drive, not legit. I think they are legit. I think they're a good team. I think they're in a driver's seat to get it to the Big 12 championship. So I think Utah ain't been the same since Cam Rising's been out. Obviously, they've been struggling, and they got Utah at home. Kansas has really not been good all year, only 2 wins in the season. They do have to go to Kansas. Hopefully, that's not going to be a dud for Colorado. Like, you should not lose at Kansas.
Yeah.
And then you end the week at home against Oklahoma State, who can be tricky at times. So you do got two.
Is Oklahoma State at home?
No, they're at Colorado. So most likely that's going to be in deep November. I don't know if weather's going to make a difference. It seems like the weather out here right now is fucking 80 degrees in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I know, right?
So who knows what's going to happen later on in the month? But you have two teams, I think, that can give them a little bit of problem. That's Texas Tech, because they're playing them away, and Oklahoma State, because they can be tricky. They got a good run game in Oklahoma State. That running back, as long as he's healthy, he's been doing his thing. So if they can win out, man, they'll be playing probably BYU in the Big 12, and that's where I think it ends. I really do. I think BYU is the real deal. As you know, they're ranked 9th right now. They're 8-0. They've gone through the same test that Colorado's gone through. The big win was against SMU. They beat Kansas State handily, 38-9. They did squeak out a win against Oklahoma State, which I was saying Oklahoma State can be tricky. And then I think BYU goes on and win the rest of their schedule. They got Utah, Kansas, Arizona State, and Houston. I don't see them losing, and I'm sure they're going to be favored in all those games. So if Colorado can get to the Big 12 championship and win,
Coach of the year, Prime.
Coach of the year for sure.
For sure.
Coach of the year. Even if Prime gets the Big 12 championship,
possibly,
I think he can be Coach of the year. But if they lose, if they win, 100%, Coach Prime would be. Imagine going into a new conference that you were supposed to be, I think, 4th in the conference. You were rated. You want to be 4th in the conference, or
and I think they would have. Or their over and under was like 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5, 5.5. Yeah, 5, 4.5, 5.5.
Yeah.
So salute the Prime. I've been wrong all season. I'm gonna eat crow right now. And I got a couple of steak dinners that I probably got to get prepared for. But matter of fact, it's a wash. It's a double or nothing, because they owe me steak dinners from last year. So, this is just a double or nothing. So I'm going to come out empty-handed.
Yeah. I think Texas Tech, and we'll talk about this tomorrow if you guys want to make sure you get our free bets for college and NFL. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We do the recording at noon for lunch, and then we drop the videos later that day. So make sure you hit that notification and that subscribe button, or that follow button on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're at, or listening. Make sure you go in and chime in so you guys can get those free bets. Been heating up. Actually, not even been heating up. Been staying hot. Really. And now that I think about it, we just been hot whole week in, week out.
Yeah,
winning weeks. But definitely that Texas Tech game is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. The line is at -3.5, which is kind of telling. That's a Colorado line in Texas Tech. So, I said it weeks ago when we talked about this. And guess what's coming out now? Guess who was it talking about? Pat McAfee. Guess what Pat McAfee said today, bro? This is what he said. Let me I don't have the video, but this is what he said. That's what he said. He said Shador to the Raiders. Who was talking about that like 3 weeks ago? Like we talked about in the background.
That's true.
About being a sports writer. You know what I mean? Like just the way we see this shit.
You said it.
We said this shit 2 to 3 weeks ago.
Probably longer than that.
Maybe. I want to find the video. I need to find the video of when I dropped that, because now y'all picking it up now. He's like, oh, I know Mark Davis had talked to him already. Tom Brady has been working with Shador since he was young. Can you imagine Prime and Shador and Vegas? It's just perfect. It's just all this stuff. Come on, Pat. Pat, I don't know you. You don't know me. But we talked about that shit 2-3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? We saw this shit coming. I think I like the black and silver one better. Yeah, I think I like the black and silver better a little bit. But I completely agree with you. Definitely earned. They've been through the fire too, because last year they took their lumps, and now they're reaping those benefits of reaping and believing, and staying together and trying to kill out all the noise that comes with being and playing for Colorado Buffaloes. So
what I mean, I want to add to that. What's funny about it is that every time Las Vegas loses,
I saw that. Thank God.
Shador is tweeting, "Thank God."
Thank God. Yeah, I did see that. So
I'm not sure what's going on. Didn't
so
Shador
salute to Pat McAfee, because I didn't pick that one up. I didn't pick that up. But I mean, we predicted that weeks ago that was a potential spot for him, and I will find the video evidence of that for sure, and make sure I add that to it. But Don, so much money, big market, makes a lot of sense, a lot of history there. Brady's there. It's such a Vegas or Raiders pick, to pick a player like Shador Sanders, and I think he fits. I think he fits the culture there, and it would be big time excitement. I've been to the Hockey Puck Stadium there, beautiful stadium. They would be excited to have Shador there for sure, and I'm pretty sure whatever they can do to get that to happen, I'm pretty sure that's already in the works. You know what I mean?
But does it get there though? I mean, the Giants right now 2-7, Patriots 2-7. Obviously, they don't need a quarterback. New Orleans 2-7. They now need a quarterback, and Vegas is 2-7. Jags 2-7. There's a lot of people at the bottom of this list in these quarterbacks right now. So
yeah, he gets there because they're going to pull the Manning. If Eli can force his way to wherever he wants to go as a number one pick, and we're going to say, hey, we're not doing this. You know what I mean? If you're going to take us. And Deion himself did it. I think what did he say? Deion said, yeah, Cleveland called me. He said, yeah, he said he picked up the phone. Said, this is Cleveland Browns. Oh, you're not gonna be able to pick me. Y'all too low. Hung up the phone. Like
y'all too high. Y'all too low.
You're too low. Yeah. I'm gonna go too high. Y'all not gonna talk. Y'all not gonna get me. I'm going top 5 easy. Would y'all rest AJ Brown for the Commanders game? Actually, you know what? I would, because for us to make a run, we need him healthy, and he's had multiple history of having, kind of these soft tissue issues or these little bang ups, where I know, and I've said this before, AJ Brown is the most important player on the team, in my opinion.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Whatever it is, his effect on everybody else and what he brings to the team elevates everybody else, and they win with him on the field. And that offense and Jalen is better with him on the field. You know, they're not bad with Smitty, you know what I mean, but they're better with AJ. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? He's got that. He's like a TO effect. So I don't mind resting him. I'm not a believer in the Commanders, Don. Even though they're 7-2. I don't feel like they played anybody of worthiness that says that they're a good team.
Oh
Now,
shit!
they don't put nobody, they don't make their schedule, so they beat the people that's in front of them, and that's all you can do. But when you look at, you know, who they played, yeah, I mean they played the Ravens, and guess what? They lost to the Ravens. I think they beat maybe like one okay team. They barely got past Chicago. Like that actually should be really a loss, but it's not. Um, so
Well, I mean, with that too, though, I mean, I would agree with you. I think we should definitely rest these guys, but I think um,
but you do
Smith
want to win the division.
Smith just got put on an injury report, so that's not a good look either with hamstring issues.
Yeah. So
So
yeah, a hammy.
we can't go down here and not handle business.
Do they need them to beat Dallas?
Listen, I'm not gonna shortchange anybody. Any given Sunday is any given Sunday.
Yeah.
I'd rather go in and handle business instead of having to struggle like we've struggled in the past without those two. Um, but hey, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure if they really need those two to beat them. I mean, if they don't have those two players, kind of quick um insight to how I see this game, you kind of probably want to look at Dallas to cover, to be honest, or the under. The under looks like it's already baked in that he might not play 43 and a half.
Um,
Or that's baked in that our defense is legit and Dallas is trash. Yeah, if he doesn't play, yeah, I like that bet. Saquon with 2 or Jalen with 2, one of the two of them. Jalen's a vulture with them with them rushing touchdowns.
mhm.
He's a vulture. You know what? Speaking of that, mid season, let's do a little bonus thing, bro. I almost forgot. Our did you do the bets with me? Our mid season future bets, or was that me and Ernie?
You and Ernie most likely.
I
I
think
missed that.
you missed that one. Let me see real quick before we get everybody out of here. Um, maybe it's on. Yo, bro, before I go, the survival pool is still going on.
How many people?
It's still 5 of us.
Who you got
Nobody
this
won't
week? Who you got
lose.
this week? Who you got
Uh,
left? Who you got left?
I think I like the Chargers.
The Chargers this week. All right. Let me see what they got. Who the Chargers got?
I think they got Tennessee.
Tennessee. At home, right?
I believe so.
They were just on the road. Tennessee.
Uh, let's see. Open. All right, here we go.
You got the Giants. Got the Giants left.
Ain't nobody picking their damn Giants, bro.
Chargers at home. Yeah, Chargers at home. They're -7.5. That's a good put.
All right, so here's one bet that I got that I think this is going to hit. I had a three leg parlay. No, we did do this because you questioned my receiving one because
Okay.
I had like DJ Moore.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is the one that looking like is going to hit. David Montgomery 10 touchdowns, Saquon Barkley 10 touchdowns, and Josh Allen. Oh no, maybe not Josh. I don't think Josh has anything close to 10 rushing touchdowns. he might have like 4. What's his face has been balling? James Cook. Let me look at Josh Allen. Damn, that jump might not hit. Now that I think about it, he's got 3.
Who, Allen?
Yeah, he's only got 3 rushing touchdowns, and we're
He needs
midway.
10.
I need him to get 10.
Damn.
Saquon to get 10, and Montgomery's going to get 10 for sure.
Damn, you didn't take Jalen Hurt for that 10?
No, I didn't. I took because I didn't know what that run game was going to be like for.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And you thought Josh Allen was by himself, so
he hovers around that. Like he has 8, 9, 8, 6, 7. He had 15 rushing touchdowns last year. So to me, it was kind of like Jalen. Like he's going to get some of those scores. Maybe I get lucky. Maybe he has a run where he scores a couple touchdowns. All right, so that one's my receiving touchdown one. AJ Brown to have 7, Mark Andrews to have 7, Keon Coleman to have 7, DJ Moore to have 10. That's a loss. Let's put that right there. This one's got some legs though. This is $75 to win almost $4,000. This is my 1,000-yard running backs. Barkley cashed that already. Bijan. Where's Bijan? I think Bijan should get that. Where is he at right now? I just want to say
700 to 800, if not more.
632. Pollard 600, and he's right behind him 22. So that looks good. The one that I'm worried about is the bull from Miami.
HN,
yeah, because he was hurt a little bit.
But he looked good last week. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no,
he's running his ass off.
He's got 420 yards. He's going to be the sweat.
I think he's going to get there because I don't think they trust Mostart anymore. I think Mostart has fumbling problems.
I need a big game from him. I need a big 175-yard, 160-yard game.
He can get it.
Yeah. So that one's got legs.
And Tua's back, so it gives him the opportunity for spread the ball.
And then my 1,000-yard ones was Devontae Smith, Travis Kelce, Kyle Pitts is coming on. And you didn't like this one, but I like this one. Malik Neighbors. Let me see
where's he at? He got hurt.
He did get hurt. 557 yards.
He should have 1,000. He's back now, but he should get 1,000.
But Smith has hurt me. Smith has 473 yards. Kelce has 435 yards, and Pitts has 430 yards. And Pitts is just coming on.
Yeah, the Kelce one is tricky.
Yeah. But I don't know though, because with people not having the key on him, like it's the Hopkins effect. He had 100 yards, 10 catches. So it's a lot. We halfway about long season. I think that one is kind of off.
You cash out any of them?
I can't cash out any.
Okay.
Nothing cash out suspended.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Cash out is suspended. So I just wanted to do that. I forgot about those. It's kind of nice to kind of look back and look at those picks. Thanks everybody for who is watching right now. Make sure you guys hit the follow, hit the subscribe, hit the like, all that good stuff, notifications. Tomorrow we will be dropping tomorrow night. We will be dropping the college picks. Before Thursday games, if we have any picks for Thursday games, Friday games, obviously Saturday, and then be dropping Saturday NFL picks as well for football Sunday. So
just a hint for the viewers before we get off.
Yeah.
Gambling show, obviously. NCAA college basketball just started. Men's college basketball just started about this week.
Yeah.
Good opportunities right now in the gambling world for you to jump on some of these games early, because you get a lot of these big mismatch games these first week in basketball, and Vegas doesn't. The lines can only be but so big. So a lot of times you can kind of take advantage of a UConn versus a Howard University, and it'd be like a 31-point line. Jump on it.
Cover.
Right? So it'd be a lot of layups when you're playing these big mismatched teams, very similar to like the first round of the March Madness. So take advantage of it. You're not going to win them all. Some won't cover, but I will probably guarantee you'll be in the 60 to 70% range on making those bets. So
I want to know who bet Presbyterian versus Carolina Christian, 120 to 45.
Well, some won't be on the board. Like some games won't be on the board. That sounds like it's one that's not going to be on the board because it'll be like UConn versus Temple State University of Jacksonville, Oklahoma. And you're like, who the fuck is that?
I want to know how you get your ass blown out by 80 points. God damn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That second half was crazy. They scored 73 points to 17 in the second half. That had to be a hell of a run. They had to score almost like 40 points without them scoring.
Let me see. What was that Rutgers spread?
That's crazy.
Rutgers, like perfect example. Rutgers spread was minus 17.5. That's a give me. They win 75 to 52 against Wagner. Like you can jump on these lines, guys, and just go to town because Vegas doesn't know how to at the moment how to judge these games so early. That's just one example, and that was the first one I picked up.
Yeah. And the Sixers suck. They're about to be
And the
1-6, losing 86 to 70 in the fourth. They probably won't come back from that game. So thanks for everybody again for jumping in. Have a good night. We will see you guys next week. Hopefully some more gambling and sports and pop culture stories. For money, for humble, we're out of here.
Fuck Dallas.